Hey, I need some help. I need some help. Hey, Gramps? No, I did not. I'm going into a press conference right now, but I'll check my phone. I might have it on my phone, and then I can send it to Mom. Okay, Gramps. Okay, bye-bye. Mic's on? Okay, I won't say anything bad. All right. No, I'm gonna need some help for Oaks Day.
You got like a grass?
I'm picking. Well, I was cutting the grass this morning. Where is it? Still in there?
You got it.
Still in there? Yeah, that's from the grass. My neighbors don't like it, but at 8 a.m. is when I think it's okay.
That's a bad neighbor.
So I had the mower out, the weed eater going. I got the whole, it's supposed to rain this afternoon.
Oh, you're a bad neighbor.
Hey, I watch everybody's weather, and they all said rain this afternoon. So I said, we're up and at 'em, people. Yeah.
All right, I'll kick it off here. As far as getting waivers for Dixon and Ballaghan to play immediately, where are you guys in that process?
We haven't even started it. That's something that's down the line. Right now, we're just ecstatic with the fact of adding those three women to our program. Elizabeth Ballaghan, ACC Freshman of the Year, Liz Dixon, all freshman team, Kiana Smith was all Pac-12. Three players that we really believe can come in and make an immediate impact for us, give us depth, and continue to keep our program going to the next level.
What have you been up to, I guess, just since really the draft ended to now?
Well, you know what? It's been it's been a whirlwind. It's been a lot. Good things after, unfortunately, we lost in the Elite Eight. Had time to spend some time with my family out in Colorado. But 3/4 of that time was spent on the phone, arranging as soon as these three young women went into the transfer portal. I was on the phone with all three of them. Got it worked out to get them here last weekend, or the weekend before, whenever that was, which was the first weekend that we were allowed to have visitors on campus. So spent a lot of time calling everybody involved with their families and themselves. Got it worked out, and then a great visit we had. Then you had the draft, which was on Wednesday. So we were in New York on Wednesday. The family then took my wife and two daughters. We went to Frozen on Thursday night. On Broadway, which was great. They absolutely loved that. Friday morning, they flew from New York back here. I went to LA for the Wooden Awards, and then took the red-eye flight back home. Our American Airlines direct flight from LA. Thank goodness. It's one that we've needed for a while. And then we had the visit. So it's been, a whirlwind, but good. A lot of great things, a lot of positive momentum, and then we've got recruiting this coming weekend as well.
Is it generally beneficial, do you find, to get recruits on campus together for visits at the same time so they can all kind of meet each other as well, or did it just kind of work out like that?
It just worked out that way. That was the one weekend that we had, and for us, you're just trying to maximize. And all three players play different positions, so nobody was going to be threatening each other. But it worked out. It was great because the following weekend, last weekend, was Easter. I wasn't going to bring anybody on campus for Easter weekend, so it worked out well.
The second time you've had three players drafted, what does that mean? Talk about that night a little bit, and then what does that mean for the program not to have just one, but the other, but Sam and everybody knew Asia.
Sure.
Sam and Erica.
Yeah, we went into it obviously knowing Asia was going to be a top 2 or 3 pick, and then I talked to a few coaches. They had all talked about Sam and AC, just a matter of where they might go in the draft. And then, being up there in New York, the crazy thing about it was you saw it sooner on ESPN than we did up in New York live there at the draft. So we're getting text messages saying, hey, Sam was drafted, AC was drafted before their names came up on the board. So it's exciting. all the hard work that they put in, all three of them told me, that they wanted to have the opportunity to be a pro. Mm-hmm. And part of that is having the opportunity to see your name up on the board. And for all three of them to be drafted, I think speaks volumes for our program, my staff, what we do player development wise. Sam came in, I think ranked in the top 60 out of high school, AC top 80. And now all of a sudden they're one of 36, which is not just college players, but international players as well that was drafted. So, we take great pride in that, and we're really excited for them because at the end of the day, that's what their goals were, and we are able to help them attain those.
But before those players came to this program, how were you looking to fill those spots on the roster?
Well, it's recruiting's never ending. It's ongoing. So we had some other players that we were talking to, some transfers, some international players. There wasn't any panic or anything like that, but you just keep recruiting, and if you do things right, and you treat people right, a lot of times it comes back around to you. We did a home visit with both Liz Dixon and Elizabeth Balagoon back when they were seniors in high school. And it's what I tell every player. It's a tough decision at the age of 17 or 18. You're trying to figure out where you want to go to college. And when they called and said they were going to Georgia Tech, I do the same thing. I don't make a kid feel bad. I refuse to do it. I ask them, is there anything that we could have done differently? And 99.9% of the time, they're like, no, it was just a feeling. And then I wish them the best. And I sincerely mean it. I say, hey, I hope you have a wonderful career. I hope you're an All-American. When we play each other in a game, I hope you suck. Besides that game, I hope you're phenomenal. And it's exactly what I say to them. And they get a laugh. And then the crazy thing about it is, we go play somebody, and we've done home visits with, their parents and the players. We'll actually say hi to them. And a lot of the parents are like, oh, can we talk to you? I'm like, yeah, I'm just saying hi to you. Your daughter's doing great. Congratulations. It's what being a good human is supposed to be.
No matter what happens with their eligibility, who or how are you looking to the existing roster of returnees to really kind of step up and fill the voids up by Asia and Erica and Sam?
Well, everybody's going to have to do a little bit more. Exactly what we talked about last year when Maisha graduated. Dana Evans is going to have to elevate her game. She's going to have to become more of a point guard instead of a scoring guard. And we've already talked about sitting down and watching film together and going over last year's game film. Then you got Jasmine Jones. Jazz is going to have to really work on her perimeter game because she's going to have to be able to stretch the defense some. Continue to attack off the bounce, but to expand her game. Kylie, Bianca, the progress that both of those two made over the summer and then into this year was pretty impressive. We're going to need those same types of strides from their junior year to senior year. Both of them, Kylie has already gone in and she's had a little cleanup surgery on her knees. She said she feels better. Bianca will be a part of 4 players that are going to represent the University of Louisville in the 3-on-3 tournament held by USA Basketball Derby Weekend down in Vegas. When she comes back, then she'll go in for a scope to get her knees cleaned up. So it's a little bit of everybody. Everybody's going to have to do some more. Yassine Diop, excited to get her back for a 6th year with her experience. So every single player that we have, we've challenged them. We put on the board. This is what you have to do to get better. And if they can do that, then our team will get better.
You talked about how the visuals of the award ceremonies and draft help you in your recruiting efforts. What about, you just mentioned USA Basketball. How does that really play into how you go out and recruit players with the USA Basketball program?
You know what? It's a wonderful opportunity for me I enjoy every chance I get to work with USA Basketball. Carol Callan, they do things first class. That's what I love about it. You're out there, you're coaching players that want to be out there, that want to be pushed, that are wearing USA across their chest, and there's a lot to be said for that. In the recruiting world, everybody thinks it's a huge advantage. No, it's not. We actually recruited 2 players off of last year's team and didn't get either one of them. I'll never use it as a recruiting tool. I don't mention it. I don't select the team. I have no input on who makes a team. That's why they have a committee that chooses the team. And I'm not going to try to make some player believe, hey, if you come here, you'll have a chance to make this. No, that's not what it's about. I've joked with Carol, if I'm fortunate enough to win the Powerball, then I want to volunteer to be a manager at USA Basketball, because it will keep me around the best players in the world and keep me around the game. It's pretty surreal when you're standing there on the gold medal stand and they're playing the national anthem. And I've had the opportunity to have that done 3 or 4 times, and it's quite a feeling.
Jeff, you talked about the returning players. Naya, the 3 coming in, though, the freshman. Naya's had a good campaign in the All-Star circuit. What do you expect from her and Romani and Norika as well? She's kind of the unknown.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's Naya unfortunately came down with food poisoning at the Jordan Brand Classic. She said she had a bad slider the night before the game, so I told her I can guarantee her that will not be on the pregame meal for next year. But yeah, she, 6'8" player, a player of the year in Texas. She's got the size, she's got the frame that she's going to be able to come in, I believe, and make an impact because of being able to handle the physicality of the game. Romani, I was really proud and excited for her because she made that change from going from Fresno to Florida to be able to play down there in Montevideo. And it really helped her. It really helped her grow as a player, grow as a person. She's going to have the advantage already of not being homesick because she's gone through that already. So, her strength, her physicality is going to be something that she'll be challenged with, but her skill level is as good as anyone's out there. So really excited to see how she meshes when she gets here. And then Norika will not come until August just because she's going to be a part of their U19 national team in Japan, and their training sessions are broke up. They'll have one in April, one in May, one in June. So it's not like she's going from here to Colorado Springs for a training session for a weekend. So it's too much to ask her to try to fly home for 5 days and then come back. So she'll focus on basketball there, which I think is great. So I have no concern. And then, we'll be competing in the same tournament. So I'll get a chance to see her play and a chance to visit with her when we're over there.
When will the other 2 come? Will they?
They'll both be here the end of May for June summer session.
And what about your schedule next year? It's always challenging. Have you done anything different or kind of set up the same way?
No, it's set up the same way. We'll actually have a lot of the teams that we played on the road. Boise State will come here and play, which they're going to be better than what they were last year. They had the post kid from Oregon that sat out, so they'll have 6'4" eligible to go along with. I think just about everybody returning from that team. Western Kentucky will be here. Chattanooga will be here. We're at Kentucky, at Northern Kentucky to play. I'm still hoping that's the game they retire my jersey at Northern. Those 47 points are hard. Were hard to come by. I think it was harder for me to get 447 than it was for Durr to get over 2,000. And then we're working on finalizing a Thanksgiving tournament right now that has a chance to have a pretty incredible field in it. So once we get that figured out, and then we'll go finish off the non-conference at UT Martin, which is a great place to play because they'll have a great crowd, and Kevin does a really good job with that program.
How far out do you think you are from perhaps setting up a schedule with EKU?
You know what? I've talked to Coach Williams about that, and I think she'd like to wait a little bit. You know, she's working on getting things together, and I've really been impressed because she's had some good players in on visits already, and she's working hard. But you know, they won 2 games last season, and both of them were against NAIA teams. So it's like I told her. I think it's a great challenge. She's excited, and a few players here or there, and I think she can change things in a hurry.
Do you have an idea in mind what the personality of this team might be with what you've lost and with all that you have coming in? I mean, how do you kind of see your style for next season?
Well, we won't change much. I mean, we're still going to play the same way that we have played. We're going to try to get up and down the floor. We're going to try and score points. You know, I've said it all along. I think fans would much rather come and watch a 100-80 game than a 55-44. So we're going to continue to try to score points. The personality of the team, I think, will take shape this summer when we have 9/10 of the players here on campus. Our transfers will be here. Our freshmen will be here. You're looking at 5 of our 6 new players will be on campus. So I think once everybody kind of gets a feel for each other, but I know they really enjoyed the official visit. The 3 transfers, they're just not only great players, but I was just really, really impressed with the type of people they are. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for program kids, kids that can come in and not only help us win on the basketball court, but are going to help us win in the community, in the city, because that's why I truly believe our attendance continues to go up instead of going down, is because of the type of players we have off the floor.
Coach, even though you are losing the 3 seniors, there are always the way too early predictions, the offseason expectations, where fans have already talked about they wanted more, and even the program. Do you embrace that, even though you're not really sure how this team will take shape, that people are still expecting Louisville to be one of those top programs?
Well, no, I mean, that's good. Expectations are a good thing. When you don't have them, that's when you need to start worrying about your job. You know, when there's no expectations for us to be good, then there's some concerns. So we are really excited about it. You know, and we'll find out here in a few months if the 2 transfers from Georgia Tech, Elizabeth and Liz, will be able to play or not. But no matter what, I really like our returning group and our incoming freshmen. So it's going to be a team that I think is going to take a little bit of time to gel, but once we get a good feel for each other, I think we have a chance to be special.
You have had for a while, it's almost like built-in leadership with Maisha and then Erica and Asia and Sam. And do you know where the leadership comes from now, and do you kind of work to kind of bring that about, foster it among those players?
Yeah, we're going to have to, I think throw a little bit more responsibility on a few players. Jasmine Jones, for one, Dana Evans. I think Kylie, in her own way, can lead. And then it'd be interesting to see how our transfers and our freshmen do. Because I have no problem. I mean, there's nothing wrong with an underclassman leading. But what I challenge our returners with is, we graduated 3 players that I really never had to worry any day when they came to practice what I was going to get, the effort. I didn't know if Asia had a bad day. I didn't know if AC had a bad day. Sam always went hard. And that's my challenge to the rest of them. Are we going to be able to do that? Or if you have a bad day off the court, are you going to carry that into practice? And that's what we can't have if we want to be special. So we've talked about that. We'll do a lot of team building and leadership, things during the non-conference, during our summer month here, because we've got to figure out who are going to be those people that will step up. Because it is one that we've had over the past few years, and now we don't have a definite.
What do you expect from the younger players and that jump from freshman to sophomore year? Sometimes that offseason, they've seen it for a year, and that offseason can be a big jump.
No, it can be a challenge. You've got Mikasa, Sagan, Lindsay, who were all kind of like thrown into things. And it's a challenge. It's a bigger jump than what most of them think it is. And it's not necessarily just a skill level. It's how you play the game, taking care of the basketball, understanding at our level, when you turn it over, you're just not going to run down the floor and steal it from somebody and get it back. So those are the things that we've talked about with all of them. I've got to get Lindsay to continue to become a high 40% three-point shooter. I've challenged her to study the game from a basketball IQ standpoint, because you can make yourself, per se, a smarter basketball player by just watching the game, studying the game. Sagan, plays as hard as can be, and I admire that. At times, I'm trying to tell her to slow down. She gets going too fast. But she showed some glimpses at times, and now we've got to become more consistent in practice. And then Mikasa, she played more than any of the freshmen this past year, and part of it is because of her ability to defend and create off the dribble. Now for her, it's going to be continuing to develop her shot. She doesn't have to have a three-point shot. Jackie Young really did not shoot the three that much. But if you can score from 15 to 18 feet, and then with her ability to get to the rim, it's going to open things up for her.
I know it's early, but based on the current roster now, what do you think is going to be a strength for next year's team that this team probably didn't have, or that this past season's team didn't have?
Well, I'm hoping, if we're able to get those two Georgia Tech transfers eligible, if we can get Elizabeth and Liz eligible, and then you bring in Naya, who has good size, I'm hoping rebounding, it becomes a strength for us. That's something we're going to work on in the offseason. It's got to get better for us, and I think it can. So I'm hoping rebounding is going to be a big part of it. We might take a little bit of a dip in three-point shooting, but that's okay. You just adjust, with the players you have.
What has Molly done in her redshirt year, and how can she be effective in that rebounding part?
Molly has really made progress. I'm really excited for her. She has great hands. She can score with her left or right hand around the basket. I'm working on getting her a little tougher. She's just a little bit too nice. I tell her all the time, and I tell Adrian Johnson too. I mean, how tough can you be when your mascot's a Barrett? I'm like, guys, we got to get a tougher mascot. But then I give the same amount of grief to Mikasa, who her mascot's a kitten. So, we're trying to work on getting them a little bit more custom and accepting of contact, because Molly has a chance to really be good.
Is that kind of similar to what you went through with Kylie in her freshman year? Where you
Yeah.
said she was too nice.
Kylie just, in high school, she shot more threes than she played around the basket. Molly actually played back to the basket some. Molly's just, and it's tough in high school too, because when you make a strong post move, when you're 6'3", 6'4", you drop step on somebody, it's a charge. If there's any contact, you always lose that battle on the foul side. And now at our level, she'll be able to play a lot more physical, and it's accepted.
You've been able to bridge from I'd say one leader, in your career, I guess from Angel to Shoni, to Asian Maisha. How do you try to get this roster not to try so hard to match that with, while also trying to get the best out of them?
Well, I mean, expectations are set, the bar's set. Our returning players know, hey, this is what's accepted here. This is what's expected here. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for them to realize what's been done in the past and challenge themselves to get to that. But it's going to be a process. We returned 4 starters from last year's team. Now you've got 2 or 3 back, but you do lose 3 pretty darn good players that could put the ball in the basket, come up with big plays. So I think this spring and summer and then the fall is going to be where we can really start to decide whose roles are going to be what. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm picking. I'm a guest picker at the Oak, so I got to win. I can't look bad.
Picker for
The whole guy.
They
For what
have one
station?
guest speaker on what?
Wait,
Oh,
I can't.